Hey, hi everyone, myself Bhagyashree and welcome to my channel Bhagyashree Tech. And today I am sharing the interview question about the Angular, which I got in many companies when I appearing for the interviews. So let's start. Our first question we have, what is Angular and why it is used? So Angular is a platform and framework for building single page application or using HTML TypeScript. It is developed and maintained by the Google. Angular is used for the developing a dynamic web application because it provides a robust structure, allow for the development of highly responsive application and extensive capability for handling the complex data binding and dependency injection. Then the interviewer also added question in this like why we are using the Angular, why not the Vue.js, why not the React.js like that. So you have to be answer on that why you are using this Angular framework instead of the other which is available right now in the market. Second question he asked, can you explain the concept of the data binding in Angular? So yes, data binding in Angular refers the synchronization of the data between the model and the view. There are four types of data binding: interpolation, property binding, event binding, and two-way binding. Interpolation and property binding are used to transfer the data from component to the view, while event binding is used to transfer data from view to the component, and two-way data binding allow for the synchronization of data in the both directions. Next question asks like what is the Angular modules and why they are important. Angular modules are containers that help organize an application into cohesive blocks of functionality. Each Angular application has at least one module, the root module I will say, which is used for the bootstrap the application. And modules are important because they help manage the dependency, improve the code organization, allow for the lazy loading, which we can improve the application performance by loading this module only when needed. The next question he asked, describe the role of the component in Angular. Components are the building block of the Angular application. A component control a part of the screen called a view and consisting of the three parts I will say: template, class, and metadata. Template defines the HTML view, class defines the logic and data, and the metadata provides additional information like the selector, styles, component, help in creating for the well-structured and maintainable code base. Next question they ask, how does Angular handle the dependency injection? So dependency injection in Angular is a design pattern that allow a class to receive its dependency from the external sources rather than creating them itself. It means we don't have to create the instance and again. We have to inject from the external sources and we can use. So Angular provide a built-in dependency injection framework to help manage and inject the dependency. This framework allows for better code modularity and testability, easier maintenance. Service and provider are often used in conjunction with the dependency injection to manage shared data and logic across the application. Then he asks, can you explain the what Angular services are and how they are used? Angular services are singleton objects and that are used to share the data and logic across the component. They are typically used to encapsulate business logic, data access, and other usable functions. Services are injected into components using the Angular dependency injection system, which allow for easy sharing and management for the data and functionality across the application. Next, we have what is Angular CLI, how does it help in Angular development. Angular CLI is a powerful tool that helps automate the development process. It provides command for creating, building, testing, and deploying Angular application. Using Angular CLI, developer can generate the component services and model quickly, ensuring I will say consistent project structure and following the best practices. We can say it also helping manage the dependency and configuration. Then next question like how do you implement the routing in Angular application? So routing in Angular is implemented using the Angular router module. It allows developer to define the routes which map the URL to component, enabling navigation within the application without reloading the page. So to set up the routing, we need to be like import the router module and define the route configuration. They can use the router link directive in the template to navigate between the routes and handle the route parameter for the dynamic routing. So we can say router module and router link is main factor for the routing in Angular application. There are three types. Next question we have: what are the Angular directive and how are they different from the component? So Angular directive is a special marker in the DOM. They tell Angular to do something to that element or its children. They are used to extend the HTML capability by adding behavior to element. So there are three types of the directive: component, structural directive, and attribute directive. Component directive and structural directive. Structure means we are using the ng for like that, and attribute directive like ng classes, ng style. Component are a type of directive with the template, with while other directive only modify the DOM behavior. Other other modify the other only modify the DOM behavior. So that is for this directive purpose. How do you handle form in Angular application? So we can say we Angular provide the two way to handle the forms: template driven forms and reactive forms. Template driven form are easy to set up and use the directive to bind data the form, while reactive form provide a more control and highly scalable. So we can say reactive form are created using the form builder services and allow for the dynamic manipulation of the form control, validation, and handling the complex form requirement. Template-driven forms are more suitable for the simple scenario. So these are the top question asked by this interviewer for this Angular application. Hope you like this video and please like, share, subscribe the channel. Meet you in the next video.